Warning. This video blog or vlog may contain harsh language and opinions that are not necessarily in line with YouTube or its partners or affiliates. YouTube does not openly endorse the content of this vlog. All opinions are expressly those of Ranting Ramsay and do not reflect on the opinions or values of YouTube, its affiliates, or its parent or partner companies.
Greetings, Internet people. RantingRamsay here. How are you all doing today? I'm not doing so bad, if you give a shit. Anyway, so, I was planning on making a video tonight, obviously, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do, and then I was looking at the activity feed for the people that I'm subscribed to and that are on my friends list and whatnot. And one of them had liked and favorited the video that this video is a response to. So I saw the title and I was intrigued, so I went ahead and I watched it, and I was like, you know what? I really like this video. It was done by a YouTube user by the name of Rational Warrior, and I gotta be honest, it was the first one of his videos that I've ever watched. So I don't know how long he's been around or how wide his fan base is. I didn't really check out his channel page or anything like that, although I think I probably will once I'm done recording this video. Anyway, so, he put up a video that was entitled, "Yesterday's myth equals literal, today's myth equals symbolic?" Question mark. And, in that can't speak properly. In that video, he basically covers the concept that, the myths of ancient peoples and the myths of ancient peoples and ancient civilizations is generally accepted today by modern society as exactly that, a myth, and yet the same type of stories and literature and whatnot is looked at today as bona fide, true, honest-to-God religion. And just about every single point he made in that video I agree with, and all the things that he said I measured in my estimation as entirely valid. But I thought there was a couple of things that he was missing, probably intentionally, I make that assumption by the way he presented himself. But I couldn't help but bring these things up in the form of a video response. And basically one of the things that I thought maybe he had not touched on in his video, albeit intentionally or unintentionally, was that that the whole reason I think that we look at ancient mythology as myth is because of the word fucking mythology. You know what? I'm just going to stop trying to incorporate my script into my video and just read the goddamn script, because I'm trying and I'm failing horribly. YouTube, it can be real. Anyway, so what I've got written here basically is that one of the problems in labeling is that we call it mythology. And almost as if some sort of establishment wanted to instill the thought or idea that it is not true nor could it ever be. How could it be true? It's mythology. Ancient mythologies, as he points out, were, at one point in time, religions. At what point do they cease to be a religion and become a mythology? Well, it seems to my estimation that dividing line becomes when rationality, to some extent, took over. We as a people tend to view most ancient peoples as not only primitive, but barbaric and stupid. This is, of course, a very misguided belief. And those of us that choose to educate ourselves know that this is not true. However, continuing. Even when ancient peoples in question created great, timeless works of art and technological advances that our science today are firmly rooted in, it is only their works and the select few that produce them to which credit is given. On the general average, the average ancient Greek is looked upon by modern society as being stupid, dirty, primitive, rock-banging individual, when societally speaking this could not be further from the truth. But because there's this enforced perception of ignorance on ancient peoples, it's easier for our spiritual leaders to label them as ignorant and believing in false gods. I think you can see the point I'm trying to make with that is that basically that there's this common misperception of these people as being stupid and primitive. So, of course they believed in myths. They were fucking primitive screwheads. Here is my boomstick. Anyway, but it kind of makes me personally think of what will our descendants, even just 10 or 20 generations from now, think of us in our spiritual beliefs as a society. Why is it so hard for us to picture Christianity or Islam going the way of the ancient Greek gods, or the gods of ancient Mesopotamia, from which the Christian religion stole much of its theology, but that's a whole other rant altogether. Gods which most of us cannot even name, which have passed into the annals of history, but were once the most central, important, spiritual and or theological figures of their time, and now we can't even name them, and pass them off as nothing more than a myth. What then, when the hopefully enlightened people of the future look back upon the primitive bloodthirsty religions of the 21st century and laugh derisively at the silly things so many people believed? I think you can see where we're going here. We laugh at what we consider ancient people's beliefs. So what does that mean of when we're considered the ancient peoples? If we're laughing at ancient peoples now as believing in myths and stupid shit that should have been taken literally and never should have existed, what are people going to be thinking of when they look at Christianity 100 years from now, 200 years from now, 300 years from now, if we're still alive and haven't managed to kill ourselves off in some sort of nuclear holocaust or environmental catastrophe which we ourselves implemented? But I digress slightly. So, and like I said, we do it now to the ancient Greeks, and the Egyptians, and the Mayas, and the Incas, and every other non-Christian or non-Muslim religion ever to have existed. Why, then, can we not fathom the concept that the Christian beliefs or the Muslim beliefs are no different from the beliefs we mock the ancient Greeks for having as being nothing more than a myth? And I think, honestly, what it boils down to is because, as many others have said, most people need something to cling to. They are too vapid to conceptualize life without a creator, and too lazy to give a random existence meaning on their own. They need someone else to do it for them. But deep down, they know it's bullshit, which is why they defend it so vehemently. So, I don't really think I have a direct answer to the question that his videos basically makes, other than to say, perhaps, that the reason that most religious zealots, and even the non-zealots, look at the past myths as being literal and thus untrue, and today's myths as being, or as needing to be interpreted, cannot speak properly, that it just totally derails my train of thought completely, and since I don't like to edit my videos, this gets left in. Fuck me running. I can't even remember what I was trying to say. Maybe I should edit this part out, but I'm not going to anyway. That once again, I guess I'm just going to reiterate, and maybe I'll get back on the train, that perhaps that it's because, like I said, we conceptualize ancient mythology as being false because we need something to cling to, and that it's just this need to have purpose for most people who can't, like I said, conceptualize life without a creator. And I started off so strongly, but this reply has just petered out to a bunch of forgetful, rambling nonsense. But that's okay, because that's what I fucking do. So, that's pretty much what I had to say on that point, as disjointed as it may be. That I agree wholeheartedly with Rational Warrior, and I think that what he possibly intentionally neglected to say was that the reason that this goes on is because people are just need something to cling to. They absolutely positively need something to cling to, and that prevents them from seeing the rational, logical, true, obvious, based on fact side of things, which is that the cycle of religion continues, and we will eventually be laughed at as believing in pure and utter myth. I look forward to that day, even though I'll be dead. I won't be able around to see it, and there's no fucking existence in soul beyond physical form, so I won't actually be able to see it, but I look forward to that day anyway. I'm RantingRamsay. That was one hell of a disjointed response, but there you go. There you have it. Peace. That is all.
Hey, did you get all that, man?
Douche.